Jai Ho. Om Guruve Namaha. Hello and a heartily welcome to everybody to Virat Talks presented by Virat Youth Charammangal, episode 8, day 2. Myself, Riddhi Rakhya, I'm from Nanded, Maharashtra. So, we have gathered here on this auspicious day of birthday of our Puja Shri Virat Gurudev. So, I would like to move forward the session with his blessings and invite Puja Guruvarya Shri Vaibhav Shiji Maharaj to bless us with Manglacharan.
जय हो विराट यूथ चरमंगल विराट टॉक्स के इस 8th एपिसोड में आज हम सबसे हमारे लिए एक प्रेरणास्पद दिन 24 जनवरी क्योंकि चरमंगल के प्रणेता विराट गुरु जी का जन्म दिवस आज ही का दिन है। वी ऑल आर सो लकी एंड सो ब्लेस्ड कि हमें गुरु जी का ज्ञान, गुरु जी का सानिध्य प्राप्त हुआ और गुरु जी की ही वाणी और उनका विजन आज पूरे विश्व में फैल रहा है। और गुरु जी चाहते थे कि अगर यूथ के अंदर सही दृष्टिकोण आ जाता है तो पूरा जीवन मजेदार हो जाएगा और ऐसा ही हो भी रहा है। इस प्लेटफॉर्म पर बहुत सारे महान हस्तियां यहाँ पर आ रही है। हर कोई अपना अनुभव भी शेयर कर रही है और अपनी जिंदगी के अंदर उन्होंने कैसे आत्मविश्वास से आगे बढ़े वो बता रही है। आत्मविश्वास बहुत बड़ी चीज है, ये होना ही योग्यता है। विराट गुरु जी से जब कोई आशीर्वाद मांगता था तो वो हमेशा एक बात कहते थे, मस्त रहो, और दूसरा कहते थे योग्य बनो। और एक दिन हमने पूछा ये योग्य बनने का मतलब क्या होता है, बोला बोला उन्होंने कि अगर कॉन्फिडेंट हो, सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस है और आपके लाइफ में क्लैरिटी है तो आप योग्य हो। आप कुछ भी कर रहे हो, आपका विजन क्लियर है और आपके पास में कॉन्फिडेंस है तो आप योग्य हो। तो क्लैरिटी एंड कॉन्फिडेंस दोनों चीजें मिल करके हमें योग्य बनाती है। हम किसी भी फील्ड में हो सकते हैं, सबके फील्ड अलग अलग हो सकते हैं। आज नाज शाह जी है हमारे साथ में, जो हॉकी प्लेयर रही हैं और हमेशा अपनी लाइफ के अंदर उन्होंने बहुत कुछ अचीव किया है। तो उनका एक्सपीरियंस को सब सुनेंगे। उसके पहले गुरुजी की दो पंक्तियां उन्हीं की वाणी में लिखी हुई। हर दिन दिवाली अपनी, हर पल खुशहाली हो। हर दिन दिवाली अपनी, हर पल खुशहाली हो। आओ हिल मिल के सब ही, आओ हिल मिल के सब ही, चेतन जगावे, मस्ती मनावे, मस्ती मनावे, मस्ती मनावे, मस्ती मनावे। सब हिल मिल करके चेतन जगाएं, अवेयरनेस बढ़ता जाए, कॉन्शियसनेस का लेवल रेज होता जाए। क्योंकि हम जब मनुष्य बन गए तब आउटर जो भी डेवलपमेंट होना पॉसिबल था वो तो हो चुका। लास्ट स्पीसीज ये ह्यूमन बीइंग है जहाँ आउटर डेवलपमेंट कंप्लीट हो गया। अब डेवलपमेंट का एक ही डायमेंशन है हमारे पास में जो अभी डेवलप हो रहा है और होना बाकी है, वो है इंटरनली डेवलपमेंट। वो इनर डेवलपमेंट हो, उसका नाम है चेतन जगावे। और उसका तरीका क्या है, मस्ती मनावे। तो मस्ती मनावे का मतलब है, क्योंकि गुरुजी हर किसी को कहते थे मस्त रहो मस्त रहो। एक दिन मैंने बोला गुरुजी आप सबको कहते हो मस्त रहो, तो क्या पता कोई लोग बोले हम तो शराब पी के मस्त हो गए, कोई लोग बोले हम जुआ खेल के मस्त हो गए, कोई लोग बोले हमें तो नींद में ही मस्ती आ रही है। तो सब लोग तो मस्ती का अपना अपना मीनिंग लेंगे। ये मस्ती का मतलब क्या होता है, आप कहते हो सबको मस्त रहो। तो गुरुजी बोले कि मस्त रहने का मतलब होता है मम का अस्त हो जाना। मम का अस्त, मम बोले तो ईगो ना, ईगोलेस होने पर मस्ती होती है। और देखो जब हम मस्त होते हैं तो ईगो नहीं होता। बाकी टाइम में हमारे अंदर बहुत सब कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है, ईगो है, बहुत कुछ हमने एक पर्सोना जो ओढ़ रखा है, हम उसी के साथ अपना को आइडेंटिफाई करते रहते हैं। लेकिन जब मस्त होते हैं तो हम एकदम फ्लेक्सिबल हो जाते हैं, हम पिघल रहे होते हैं। हमारे पास उस टाइम में कोई ऐसा ईगोइस्टिक एटीट्यूड नहीं होता है। तो गुरुजी ने बोला मस्त रहो मतलब मम का अस्त हो जाना, एकदम मस्त हो जाना, वो स्थिति आ जाए, चेतन जगाए, वो इनर डेवलपमेंट लगातार होता रहे। बस यही आप सबके लिए बहुत दुआ, प्रेम, आशीर्वाद। पूरी टीम को धन्यवाद, नाज शाह जी को भी। मजे से रहो, मस्त रहो, जय हो।
Thank you so much, Marasa, for your kind words and guidance. So, before we move forward with the session, there are a few announcements to be made. Please switch off your audios and videos so that there are no disturbances during the session. And for those who want to ask questions, may raise their hands and put the questions in the chat box. Thank you so much for that. Now, moving forward, as this episode is entirely dedicated to sports, there is a quote. Every champion was once a contender that refused to give up. With this auspicious thought and very motivating thought, I can say, we will move forward with the session. And now I would like to pass the screen to Kriti Tatya from Jaipur to introduce the speaker. Thank you.
Michelle Obama rightly said, there is no limit to what we as women can accomplish. And today, I am so proud to be a part of the community where impossible is a myth. Jai Ho, I am Kriti Tatia from the Pink City, Jaipur. I am so glad and honored to have got the chance to welcome Miss Naaz Shah. She is a qualified ESOL teacher. She defines beauty, courage, and dynamism. She has been coaching school teams for the past 10 years and produced at least 30 national players to represent Maharashtra. She is a born champion as she represented India at the Olympics at the age of 17 in hockey. She was a Puneri girl with a dream and desire to fulfill her goals, and today she is connecting with us all the way from New Zealand. Hockey, as we understand by the meaning, is considered to be a manly sport, but the women do not fear to face the world with their determination, courage, and power. We, the youth, have seen and experienced how, in this patriarchal society, women had not only grown out of their houses, but they have set benchmarks that are difficult to beat. Miss Naz is one another powerful lady who is an inspiration to so many young girls out there. She clearly proved that dreams don't work until you do. So today, we have another Indian woman who made India proud globally. It is my privilege to welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Jai Ho.
Thank you so much, Kriti, for such an amazing introduction. Thank you so much. Now, with all the blessings of Puja Shri Virat Gurudev, I would like to move forward with the session and start the session. Are you ready, ma'am?
Yes, please. I'm really excited. Thank you.
Okay, so the first question coming your way is the most important question. What inspired you to play hockey?
Okay, so this is a long history, really. And I must say that in 1952, my aunt, Zarina Madraswala, played hockey for India and was the first captain of the Indian women's hockey team. So in our family, we have a history of sport. And I must say that my grandmother was a woman ahead of her times. Though I was born in a conservative, well, we would call it a conservative Muslim family, my grandmother was ahead of her time. So in 1952, she allowed my aunt to play hockey for India in times where women, it was pretty much impossible to get out of the house, and they got them married really quickly. Not only that, she was a doctor, so she was well educated and a top sportsman. So I think hockey is in my blood. And when I was 6, my father took me out and he said, well, would you like to play? And I said, yeah, I want to play as well. And that set the ball rolling. But bigger than that was, and my coach. My coach was my aunt's coach. And he told me, do you want to play for India? And as a 6-year-old, that seed was sown that one day I was going to wear the country's colors. And from there on, it has been only forward moving.
Thank you so much for letting us know about such a thing thing about your history and the interest that you have got from like it was passed on to you. So as you have said कि बचपन से ही you have had a sports background at your place, at your home, right? So how your childhood was different from the normal people or the people those who are not sports person or those who are not from sports person's background? So what was the difference?
I think because I was in a sporting environment, my father was a very, very avid sportsman and follower of sport. So I grew up in an environment where sport was what you did. It was nothing special. It was you went to school, you studied, you played sport, you came home. But my coach was instrumental because he was really passionate and he wanted me to play. So I remember going with him to trainings. And, in those days, it wasn't parents driving you in cars and stuff like that. It was all about, I got on my cycle. And I remember when I was about 12, I would jump on my cycle 10 kilometers to the turf or the मिट्टी का जो ग्राउंड था, तब तो टर्फ वगैरह कुछ नहीं, लेकिन मिट्टी का जो ग्राउंड था वहां पे साइकिल चला के आप जाओ, अगर पैसे रहे तो बस में चलो, इफ नॉट you went cycling 10 kilometers, you did your training and you came home. But that was because you were dedicated, you wanted it, and you wanted it badly. So my childhood was devoted to sport and study. I really didn't have much of a life beyond that. But I think by the time I was about 12, I had decided that I wanted to represent India. And I had my blinkers on. My focus was there even as a 12-year-old. And I think I was really lucky that there were many international players in Maharashtra, in Pune, who I trained with. And when I used to see them wearing the India tracksuit, and I'd walk behind them, a little 12-year-old, and I'd be inspired and I'd say, my goodness, one day I am going to wear that India tracksuit and I'm going to do what it takes. So while my friends went to the movies, while my friends went to picnics and had sleep-ins, I was up in the morning on my cycle off to training. And I have no regrets. I'm so grateful that I had this opportunity to play with the best players in the country who were all from Pune. You know, Padma Shri Eliza Nelson, she's from Pune. She was a captain of the 1982 Asian Games team that I was a part of. Now, they were the people who inspired me. And my parents were also, a huge part of who I am today.
Okay. So it was really great to just get deeper into some sports women's life, because it's way different from the regular one. Okay, so as you have told कि आपने कहा बचपन से ही at the age of 6 you thought of the thing that you gonna wear colors of the country. So you must be following some routine or something regular to your daily routines and the practices which not every person in their childhood do, and that led you here. So what were the things, I can say,
So
daily routine? Yeah.
honestly, my life was only sports and studies, because every time I went away on a tournament, I had to make up for all the studies I had missed. So my classmates were really nice. They'd copy the notes for me. In those days, there was no photocopying and all of that. So they'd use that Xerox carbon paper and they'd copy the notes for me so that I had, notes that I could read and catch up with all the stuff I had missed. But because I was so determined in where I wanted to be, it made my journey a bit easier because I didn't think of anything. I said, this is my opportunity to do it. I can go to the movies, I can go to parties, I can do a lot of things later on in my life. But this opportunity, if I don't take it now, I might miss out completely. So my life was, I think, a little bit different from young people of my age, that I think sport and studies was all I ever did.
It was it is again a kind of sadhana, if I can say, to be determined and stick to your goal for whole, for the entire time. There must be distractions at your path, and still you stick to the goal, and that's commendable. That's actually commendable. So as we have talked a lot about your childhood and your teenage, I can say. So now I would like to come up to the times now, which is कि आप coaching करते हो, you coach children and people. So what is the difference between playing exactly on the field and coaching to people those who are playing on the field?
I think, being a player, I think, unfortunately for me, I've been coaching since the age of 18. So even when I was in college, I used to coach teams. So I've been coaching for a long, long time. Now, don't ask me how many years, because then you'll know I'm an old lady. But anyway, yeah, I've been coaching for a long time. And I think what I feel is that if I have the knowledge, I need to share it. And it gives me great joy to see young children achieve, because when they achieve, not only does it make them happy, it makes them better people when they play sport. Because I think sport brings, there are no barriers in sport. There is no difference in color, race, creed, language. We all speak one language, and that's the language of sport. And that's a beautiful language because it breaks all barriers. So I want more and more people to play sport. Not all of us are going to be international players. Not all of us are going to be Olympians. Not all of us are going to get gold medals. But if we learn to play sport, we learn to have empathy. We learn to have care. We learn to adjust with other people. And I can promise you this, that as we go on in life, these are the lessons that we have learned on the sporting field that will benefit us as we go about our day-to-day lives. As we get married, as we have children, because these are the values that we will teach our families, our children, the people who matter. We're going to share this. So for me, coaching kids gives me a great sense of joy, just to see them improve, the smile on their face when they've achieved something, and also the sadness to be able to give them the strength to overcome failure. Because some of them will not get into a top team in their school, or they will not make a representative team. So it's to teach them how to use failure as a stepping stone to success, to look at the silver lining rather than to give up, to persevere, to be resilient, to be strong. And I think sport gives us all of this, particularly team sport. And for me, I think, जो pressure cooker का valve होता है, that lets off the steam, that's my sport. When I get stressed out, I go onto the turf and I go and coach little kids. I see the smile on their faces, and that relieves and releases my stress. So for me, I think sport has been absolutely instrumental in keeping my sanity at the most difficult times in my life, and also given me the chance to share something with others. And so I think for me, sport is really, really important.
Okay, so it's really wonderful to listen from a coach that he loves teaching or he loves coaching because he needs it more. So it's very amazing to have this kind of a vibe. So as you have told about coaching kids, if you have great experience in coaching, so I really want to ask कि जब पहले के टाइम से before the mobile phones, I mean पहले के times, तो पहले के time में we don't have mobile phone, we had least distractions, but now we have a lot of it. Like so what is the difference between like how students approaches and towards distractions, and how are they doing it, and how are they handling it these days, and what are the piece of advice that you would like to give?
I think clarity of vision. What is it that you want to achieve? That's the first step in any direction. Now, if you're coming to a training and your mind is somewhere else, it's a waste of time. So when I run a coaching session, there are some things that I make quite clear. And I really feel that young people should understand there's a place and time for everything. I'm not saying social media is not a good thing. It's a fabulous thing, but how it is used. And the trainees who come to me, the kids who come to me, I make that quite clear at the start, that when you come to training, no phones, no distractions. There is a purpose why you're here. And we need to think about why we are here. We get into a zone and we think about the sport, why we are training, what are we training for? And I think that has to continue even when I'm not there. So you have to have that discipline in your own lives. I can't come to your house and see how much time you're spending on the phone. But if you're going to stay awake till 2 o'clock in the morning playing games, I will know when you come to training the next day from how poorly you train. So I don't have to come to your house to know whether you've slept at 9 o'clock as per my instructions. I will know how well you are playing simply by what food you are eating. If you're going and eating rubbish and you're going to all the fast food joints and you're eating rubbish, you won't be able to run for more than half the game. So I don't need to come and keep a check on you. I will know that you've been eating rubbish. Okay, I'm giving you a plan. I'm telling you what's good for you. So you need to follow that. And if you don't do what I say, then you don't make the team. There's no friendship. I don't care who you are. You might be the best player in the world on skill, but if you don't have the discipline and you're not a team player, then you don't deserve to be in the team. And I think I make that quite clear right at the start. Before I start the coaching, I make it clear not only to the students, but to the parents as well, because they play a huge part in what their children do. So if the parents also come to the party and the parents understand that I want the best for their children and they want the best for their children, then we have to work together as a team. And the players need to know that as well. There's no rishwat, there's no dosti, there's nothing. You do the wrong thing, you're out. You might be the prime minister's kid or you might be anyone, okay? Because I know what it is if you are dropped from a team where you deserve to be. So I will never let that happen to anyone else, not as long as I'm the coach.
That's absolutely amazing, and it shows how the determination is clearly visible here, ma'am, and it's coming through us, like through the phone to us. So yeah, the next question coming is, as you said in the previous answers, that it is the team sport or the sport teaches you the values, right? So I just wanted to know that how you being a woman helped you in being a team sport and how you managed to glue up the team together in the hard times as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think, any team sport teaches you a lot of values because you're not an individual. You have to work together. You have to work as a team and you have to look after the weakest person because if we lose together. If we win together. So I think that's one value that I teach everybody, whether it's a boy or a girl. What I want to say to each one of them is that you have to work as a team because we all are one. It is not about you being the best player or me being the weakest player. But I think also as a woman, I don't know whether it's a right thing or a wrong thing or whether it's just my idea of it. But I think we have a lot of empathy and a lot of care. And it's getting the values that we believe in to work together. The values that we believe in very, very strongly. If we all are on the same page and we all believe the same thing, then winning or losing, we're able to accept it in a humble way. And that's what I feel is really important, to be humble in victory and in defeat.
Thank you so much, ma'am, again for giving a statement of the day till now. So yeah, the question, a question before we start for the game. So the question is, ma'am, you have represented internationally our country in Olympic Games, right? So how is the experience? What it is a feeling? What kind of a feeling it is to represent a country on such a big platform? And what are the like? See, ऐसा होता है ना कि सामने से हमको लगता है कि it's very glittery, colorful, but then behind it, it's lots of mehnat, struggle, and the thorns, I can say. So, what were the thorns, and how the glittery feeling was there in you?
So I think, well, if you call it thorns or whatever you want to call it, but the fact is that there's a lot of hard work. So my first tournament was when I was 16. I went to the World Championship in Vancouver. I can still remember, oh my gosh, I still remember when I saw my name in the papers. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know whether I should cry, whether I should scream, whether I didn't know who to hug. I didn't know what to do. I was just like, is this real? I actually pinched myself. Is this real? Am I actually in the national team now? And, you know, tears just rolled down my eyes. And I thought, oh my gosh, my dream is finally a reality. I will wear my country's colors and I will fight till the last drop to make India proud. And honestly, as I'm talking to you, I'm getting goosebumps. Just thinking of that Indian flag flying high, the joy and, you know, just that honor of representing India. It is something that I think only when you're there, you actually understand what it means. Um, it wasn't an easy road. There was a lot of sacrifices. I'm saying sacrifices or investments of time. When other people were doing other things, I was training, but I knew at the back of the mind that if I persevere and if I work hard, then I will achieve my aim. But I cannot quit. I cannot take failure as a reason to quit. And I think a lot of young people today are scared of failure. They're scared of taking the next step for fear of what will people say, what will society say, I will look bad. But I look at it the other way. I said, people will look and say, you had the courage to try. And if we can just persevere and carry on that path, sooner or later, success will be yours. And I really encourage people not to quit. Don't give up. Don't be scared about what people say, because not everybody can love you and not everybody wants the best for you. But if you have the courage to persevere and you show you're a good person and your intent is right, then people will understand who you are. So for me, those were the thorns. That it was a hard journey trying to, manage my studies, trying to manage my life, as well as to play sport at the highest level. So sometimes it was 5-6 hours of training. You were tired, but you still had to finish your homework because teacher in school was not going to give you time off just because you were playing hockey. But, the advantages and the success and the joy of representing India, oh my gosh, it's just overwhelming. And then when I went to Moscow in 1980, I was 17. It was this massive, massive tournament that people only dream of. And was I actually there? Did I actually get on that plane? I had to keep talking to myself or, to convince myself, yes, I'm in that plane. We are going to the Olympics. This is the Olympic Games, the greatest sporting spectacle in the world. Oh, wow. And then, you're determined to do your very best. And I had, very senior players and I looked up to them and I wanted to learn, I was like a sponge. Everything that they were doing, I was watching. I wanted to learn. I wanted to be like them. And by the blessings of the Almighty, the universe, whatever name you want to call, I was able to continue to play and, captain India, which was another dream of mine. And today I want to share that with all the young people who have a dream, that don't stop dreaming. But the only thing is you have to dream with your eyes open. You can't fall asleep, because if you fall asleep, it's over. So dream, but dream with your eyes open.
Dreaming with our eyes open is again commendable statement, a statement of the day again. So I would just delay the game for a question, which is you being a woman in such an tiring, I can say, or a very bhagdod wala sport, which is hockey. So you must have broken many stereotypes, right? So we wanted to know if you can name a few for us, that which kind of stereotypes you have broken by playing and by winning this kind of positions and such a great honors.
Okay, so I think the big one was that when I was playing in the 80s, it was hard for a woman to play after getting married. It was eyebrows being raised, abhi shadi shudda hai, kahan chali khel khelne, ghar sambhalo, have kids, start a family. But my story was, why should it be like that? Indian women are no lesser than anybody else in the world. So let's change that. Yeah, that was in my head. And I'm really fortunate that the family that I got married into were absolutely wonderful. They supported me every step of the way. And they said, if that is your dream, then we will support it. So actually, I captained India after getting married. Yeah, we did a test series in China and a test series in Russia, and I captained India then. And I wanted to break the stereotype that marriage is not the end of it. It should be just another chapter in your life, and with the support of your family. I mean, if your partner doesn't support you, then should you be in that marriage? Why you need to have somebody who is your life partner in good times and bad times, who will support you. So you have to be sensible in what you do, but you do need the support of your family. You can't do anything by yourself. And it was only because of that that I was able to play for India. And then, I stopped playing and I thought, okay, that's enough. Yeah. And then my son was born. And then I thought, you know what? They say in India, once you have children, you can't play. Let's change that as well. So when my son was 3 years old, I went back. It was a really hard journey because physically I was competing with girls who were 10 years younger than me. On a mental level, I had been out of the sport. So it was fighting the mental barriers. There was an amount of guilt that I'm leaving my child at home and going and playing. But it was also, to show the world that the Indian woman is no lesser than anybody else in the world. And why should we accept that we are lesser? Yeah, we are just as good. So I played 3 internationals again for India. And I think that was a turning moment in my life because I realized that, you know what? If even 5 women can follow this and break this barrier, we're winning. Because from 5, it'll become 25. From 25, it'll become 100, 500, 5,000. And today I see so many women in India with children, sportsmen are playing sport. But I promise you, in the 80s, that was not the case. In the 80s, I used to ride a motorcycle. People weren't impressed with a girl, with a mother, with a child riding a motorcycle. But what's wrong with that? If I can drive a car or a scooter, why can't I ride a motorcycle? So I have broke many stereotypes. I have broken a lot of stereotypes. And I think it was just to prove a point. It wasn't easy. The road was very, very difficult. But if it hadn't been my family to support me, my family that I got married into, my sister, my parents, if everybody, and my friends, they were all there to say, go for it, go for it. We're there to support you. We believe in you. We know you can do it, but have the courage to do it. And so with all the support and the blessings, it was left to me now to do the job. And I think I did it.
You nailed it. Absolutely, you nailed it. So, we'll take a little break and I would like to pass the screen to Tanvangi for a game. Thank you.
Okay.
Jai Ho, ma'am. It is an absolute delight to hear you and to hear all the stereotypes you have broken. I'm like awestruck right now hearing everything. Thank you so much, ma'am. So this game is make a face. So if you have done that thing, you have to make a happy face, and if you have not done that thing, you make a sad face.
All right.
Okay, ma'am. So I'm gonna tell you just some things. So I'm gonna start with it. So the first thing is, have you ever cheated on a diet?
Say that again, sorry. Have you ever cheated on a
diet?
Diet.
Have you? Okay, next question is, missed a training purposefully. Regretted any decision of yours? Next is, lost any game to your kid?
Yes. Yes.
Next is, overthought on something that doesn't need overthinking.
Yes.
Next is, being nervous before doing anything which you have done several times before.
like this interview.
Thank you, ma'am. The next is had a near-death experience.
Sorry?
Had a near-to-death experience.
No.
The next is lied to your parents.
White lies? Yes.
We all do that. The next question is pray to God to make you win the game.
Oh, many times.
And the last for this is, yeah, ma'am, that's it. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was
Thank you
absolutely
so much. That was lovely. Great questions.
I'll pass back to Riddhi now.
Such a cute faces, I must say, ma'am. It was so cute to see you making those faces. So now we'll resume with the questions, which is okay. So the question which we all want to know is, uh, tell us about your toughest match till date and why it was so.
I think more than toughest, I think the game that I was most, nervous about was in the Asian Games in 82 against Japan, because I was really nervous. It was probably the toughest game that we played, but I was really nervous because we had to win and we had to beat Japan, because it was kind of known that if we beat Japan, we would win the gold. It was kind of, because that was the toughest team. And that's why I think that was my toughest game. I wanted to play my very best, and so sleepless night, the night before, seeing so many things going on in your head. I don't want to miss that ball. How am I going to stop it? Am I going to do it right? I must go on the rebound when the goalkeeper clears the ball, all these things. So sleepless night, all the excitement in the morning of, getting ready for that game, just the nervous excitement. But I think that was a really tough game. And we came out winners. And so that was like, yes, now we just got a couple of games more and we've nailed it. We will be gold medalists in India before maybe 25,000 people. Wow, what a feeling. Yeah, but probably that was one of the toughest games I've ever played.
Great, great. The night before, anything you're going to face which you're afraid of or which you feel is tough is miserable. That's
Yeah,
gonna be great.
revision for the big exam.
Yes, yes. So the next question coming is, sports are famously known as men thing, but lately women are also taking a step further in it, and the myth of men being stronger than women physically is about to break. What are your views on it?
I think women are very strong mentally as well. And you know what? Just the fact that I could play after having children and I could play, at the top level, it just shows that as women, there is nothing that separates us. Why is there a myth that women are not strong? I mean, look at Michelle yesterday, running in the desert. What amazing thing. You have to be super fit in body, in mind, in spirit to do something like that. Playing at the highest level for India, it's not easy. So why is there a myth at all that women are weaker than men? I'm not being feminist, but what I'm saying is that I don't think women should ever undervalue or underestimate themselves. We are strong in body and mind, and we need to believe in that. So I don't believe in that myth. They might be strong in their world, but we are strong in ours. So no reason for us to feel inferior in any way.
Completely. They are stronger in their world and we are in ours, which is again amazing. The line is so amazing, ma'am. Thank you for the line. Thank you for everything, I can say. So the next question coming is, hockey being a national game of India is not as popular as cricket. So like why it is so, and what are your views on it?
My take is that cricket is a religion in India. It's not even a game. everybody kind of prays to the cricketers. It is almost like film stars and cricketers. They are like Bhagwan. Okay, so we have to compete quite strongly. But things are changing in India from the time I played, where it was, you wore your heart on your sleeve and you played for the country. Today, hockey players are getting money. There are more competitions. They're getting far more experience. So it is growing. I don't think we can ever compete with cricket, but the fact that social media and just media in general is so much more, and people around the world can now see sport far more than when I was playing. I think things are changing, but nowhere where cricket is. But you know what, we're still growing, and it is getting better in India. You see, the Indian women hockey players on many platforms. They've been given so many opportunities to show their game, but also, publicity is given to them. So I think it is improving in India compared to what I played maybe 20, 30 years ago. Today, the Indian women particularly are getting a lot of mileage, and the men as well. There's a lot of money in the game. If you are an international player, you're playing in a lot of leagues where there is a lot of prize money. And so I think it is improving. I don't think we can compete with cricket, but it is getting better.
Yes, yes, yes. It's getting better day by day. And yeah, the next question I would like to ask, actually, this is kind of a question कि ये सबके दिमाग में कि what is your daily routine? How do you manage to stay such a stunning lady for the entire day and for the entire life? Like, let us know, please.
Big secret, huh? Nah. Okay. So I think discipline is a really important part. In whatever you do, one is self-belief and two is discipline. But what I feel really important is that you have to find what gives you peace. For me, it is meditating in the morning. So when I wake up in the morning, I spend 45 minutes doing a little bit of meditation, a little bit of yoga, a little bit of stretching. And I think that sets me up for the day. I am quite disciplined with my food. It's not that I don't eat, snack food and all of that, but I try and eat healthy food because I know, that what you put in is who you are. So if I'm going to have to look after myself, because, you have this only one you, and if you don't look after it, it is your temple. You have to look after it. You have to honor yourself. And how else can you do it by looking after your well-being? So for me, it's, just that little bit of meditation in the morning. I like to do my exercise. I like, go for a walk. And I think the big thing for me is to have empathy for others. If I can bring a smile on somebody else's face at least once in the day, I think it's a job well done. And the joy of giving is far greater than the joy of receiving. And I live by that. I just feel that if I can make somebody happy, if there is something that I can give somebody that brings a smile on their face, then that's what I need to do. And that's what I do. And I live by that. And I think I have been blessed with so much because what I have given one, it has come back many, many more times. So I'm really grateful that I have had this opportunity. But I am quite strict about my food, and I'm quite strict about being disciplined in how I live each day. Not that I don't enjoy myself. Yeah, I love eating, all our Indian snacks like pani puri and vada pav. And oh my gosh, I really miss them here. I absolutely love them. And when I come to India, I just take off and eat all of that food because I really miss it. But then I do come back to, a discipline of eating the right food, doing the exercise, and just having a positive frame of mind. I think that's the big thing, being positive and also being grateful, having gratitude for everything that we have. Material things are important, but they're not everything in life. And for me, I think if we look beyond the material things in life, then there is happiness in a beautiful flower. or the sun shining or anything like that. And I think that gives me great amount of joy.
That's really nice, ma'am, to know how much you think of in every little aspect, how deeply you think of it, and that's absolutely amazing. So the next question coming is, being a sports person, where does spirituality stands in your life, and how it had helped you?
Say that again. Sorry, missed that.
Yeah. So being a sports person, where does
Yeah.
spirituality stands in your life, and how
Okay.
it had helped you?
Okay. So I think spirituality is a very individual practice. It is different for everyone. But what I believe spirituality is that there is more to life than what we experience through our senses. There is a connection to, what would I say, something greater than ourselves. And that for me is spirituality. Not just what we, something greater than ourselves. And I think that for me is the essence of a spiritual being who I attempt to be. That is really important for me, to look beyond what our senses see and to connect with the universe, to connect with the higher being, to connect with something greater than ourselves. That to me is spirituality.
That's absolutely an amazing definition to connecting to the higher self, and which we are learning from our Guruji. And I hope we learn it soon. So, yeah, the next question coming your way is, what is the difference between an ordinary mother being seen as a mother and a sportswoman being seen as a mother? Like, what is the difference? We want to know.
I think is the first thing is that a mother is a mother is a mother. You're always a mother first. As a sportswoman being a mother, I think you tend to push your children in the direction of sport because you're a sportsman. So you want it's but natural that you want your child to play sport because you've seen the benefits of being a sportswoman. you know Being a sportswoman, I wanted to inculcate those values in my children. So I encourage them to play sport, telling them again that you might not be the best in the world, but the values that you will learn from sport, you know no other platform will ever teach you, because you will learn to give, you will learn to lead, you will learn to be led. तो ये नहीं है कि आप हमेशा कैप्टन रहोगे, ये नहीं है कि आपकी हर बात मानी जाएगी, बट ये जरूर है that when it's your turn to lead, you will lead. But अगर it is your turn कि कोई और लीड करेगा और आपको फॉलो करना पड़ेगा, that is also something that you will have to learn, because that is what life is all about. And that is why I encouraged my children to play, and both of them played sport. And I think they are richer for the experience than if they had not played any sport.
Very, very, very true. Absolutely, ma'am. So here again, the time comes for the game. So I
Okay.
would like to invite Tanvangi for the rapid fire. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reddy. So, ma'am, rapid fire is here, and you have to answer really, really fast. The questions
Oh
are
my gosh.
like one word only, so you have to you can answer easily. So, we'll
Okay.
start. The first question is, what is inspiration for you?
My goodness, the first question was so tough. Um, to succeed.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is, one moment you were proud to be a hockey player. That one moment that you like felt like, yeah, I'm a hockey player.
When I was able to wear my country's colors and to see the Indian flag flying high.
That is indeed a proud moment, ma'am. The next question is, describe yourself in 3 words.
I have empathy, I'm caring, and I'm disciplined.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is, one thing you miss about India.
The food. I miss the food. I miss my friends.
The next question is, what would be the name of your biopic if it's ever made?
Women can succeed.
And ma'am, a question related to this: if there's a movie made on you, who would play you?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I'm not very good with um, actors and actresses. I hardly watch movies, but I'll tell you, maybe Deepika Padukone, because her father was in the Asian Games team in the contingent. He played badminton for India. I played hockey for India. So I think that's the closest I would get. So maybe Deepika Padukone.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, that was the name that came in my mind as well, actually, to be
Oh,
true.
wow.
The next question is something you would never regret.
Playing hockey.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is three pet peeves of yours. Three things that you don't like.
I don't like. Indecision, um, not keeping your word, and being scared of failure.
That's amazing, ma'am. The next question is the top thing in your bucket list.
The,
The
sorry?
top thing in your bucket list, the wish list, the top
Oh,
thing.
my wish list, my bucket list to travel. I just want to travel.
The next question is, ma'am, your favorite Bollywood song.
Oh my gosh, Bollywood song. Um, we used to sing the song Rang De Basanti Chola. So
Yes, ma'am.
that's mine because it's something very close to my heart, and it kind of, I want to win then. I want to go out and give my 100%. So Rang De Basanti Chola. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The next question is, are you a morning person or a night person?
Morning, 100%.
The next question is, one food that you would, if given a chance, you would eat for lifetime.
Biryani.
Thank
I
you so
love
much, ma'am.
biryani.
Ma'am, one word for the feeling of motherhood.
Joy.
That's absolutely great, ma'am. And the last question is your favorite quote.
It's hard to get to the top, but it's harder to remain there.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was amazing to have this rapid fire with you. And I'll pass back to Riddhi.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's hard to get there and even harder to stay there, right? Very, very so amazing. I feel it, like I feel the vibe in here. So we can again resume with the questions. So here, my first question is, what are the changes according to you that you would like to make in the sports world? Like anything.
Uh, I want more women to come out and play sport, and I want more men to have more empathy for women, because quite often women are scared to play after getting married, after children, thinking, and that comes back to the question of women not wanting to get married early, thinking, what's going to happen if I get married? Will my husband let me continue? So I want men to understand that encourage and support your life partner, give them the opportunity, you know support them, share their joys and sorrows in their journey. And for me, I think that is really something I'd like to see. I'd like to see more women have the confidence to get married and to follow their dreams. That is what I want to see in sport.
Yeah, that's absolutely going to happen in coming years, hopefully. So the
Hopefully.
next question, yes, the next question is, describe about the moment where you have felt real low, or I can say depressed, and the other moment you just, managed to make it, like, make the victory. So just describe the moment and let us know how you conquered that moment.
Okay, so there was a competition where I was in like the starting lineup. And for whatever reason, in that entire competition, I did not get even 5 minutes of playing time. That was something, I used to go into the bathroom and cry, but I did not let anybody know about it being a weakness because it was my problem. I had to learn how to deal with it. And so each day I woke up thinking, whatever it is, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I just have to carry on and keep working. And I know that success will be mine. Even if I'm not getting an opportunity to play, I'm still part of the team and I have to support whoever is playing. So it wasn't easy knowing that I should be playing. However, being a team player, you cannot let your team down. And so I fought on. Whatever my tears were, I cried. But when it was for the team, there was only support. And I'm glad I did that because I did see the light at the end of the tunnel. And the next tournament I played, I was back in the playing team. But that journey taught me a lot of resilience. It taught me courage, and it taught me not to accept failure. That if we persevere and we have the courage, the success will be ours. Quite a few of us will quit when things get really difficult, and then we will make excuses for why we quit. But if we are winners, then what we need to think about is how are we going to use this failure as a stepping stone to success? And for me, I think that's one mantra that I say to every player, that use failure as a stepping stone to success.
Use failure as a stepping stone to success. Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. So, next question is something as we guys, like we youth, are really inspired by movies. The closest we can encounter the real thing which we consider is to be movies. So there was a movie regarding the women's hockey, was Chak De India, right? So we wanted to know कि उसमें कितनी reality थी, कितनी सच्चाई थी उस movie में, like the things that were shown on the screen, were they real or were they just imaginary or just exaggerated?
See, Hindi films are always exaggerated, otherwise they won't sell. So we just have to accept that for a fact, okay? But the truth is that there was a lot of truth in it, but that happens across all sport. There is always partiality, there is always favoritism, there is always, jealousy, there is always anger, there is always pain. So all of that is true. And any sport, anywhere in the world, at any level, these things, when there are human beings, these things are going to happen. You can't say that I don't feel jealous or we're not. All of us are human, so we have all these emotions. Yeah. So I think while it was exaggerated, there was a lot of truth about how sport actually happens across the board, across all sport. But, there are joys as well when you succeed, as a team, the joy of winning, the joy of sharing that victory is also there. So they're not all negatives, but we cannot say that that is not true, because that is true. That is part of sport. That those are the negatives of sport, and it is up to the coach and it is up to the team to try and reduce that and to make the positives outshine the negatives. And I think that as a coach is how good you are. How can you control the negatives to the best of your ability to bring out the best in your players, rather than let that be the center of the team. And I think if you can do that, then you're on a winning, and whether your team wins or loses in a competition is not as important as how have we evolved as persons and as a team. Have we become better? If we as a team have become better, then that is success as well. It is not only always winning the gold medal. Yeah, because not everyone can win. But if we have been better as a team and we have improved, then that is success as well. And I think if we accept that, then we are right on the road to get better. So that's another mantra that I talk to my athletes about.
Absolutely, ma'am. And really happy to know the mantra. And just a question regarding the same question, actually. So,
Yeah.
in that movie, which was the closest character to Naaz Shah?
Oh my goodness, you should tell me that.
Okay.
I think,
That's a real
all those who
difficult
are
question for
viewing
me.
this today, I think you need to pose a question for the audience and tell them to say who they think was closest to me. Come on, you can set a competition out for your viewers. Let's see who can come up with
Sure.
the right answer. Okay?
Yeah, sure. Such an interesting thing. We will absolutely going to do this. So yes, it's amazing. And the next question, we'll just proceed as how was like how was being married the feel and how it kind of helped you? Like we want to know the helping aspect of marriage, like how it helped you in your career and in your sports field.
I think the most important thing is you have to marry somebody and your family has to support you. If that happens, then, your career becomes much easy to pursue. But if you are surrounded by people who don't support you, particularly your husband and your in-laws, because they are the people you live with. If they don't support you, you can't win because you already have the stress of being married and the society per se who are thinking, well, why is she playing? And though things are changing in India, and it's great to see young women particularly now well educated, financially independent, they have a mind of their own, and they are in a position to have a partnership with their partner rather than being the one who has to listen to all and everything that the husband says. It's now more, I think it's a relationship, it's a partnership, which is a great thing to have because you understand each other. There's a give and take. And it doesn't make the man lesser if he helps in the kitchen. And it doesn't make the woman any better if she mows the lawns. So, it's about sharing, it's about bringing out the best in both. And by that, you can only win. It's a win win. So, really, I was fortunate that, I had the support of my extended family, my sister in laws, everybody who was there. Everybody supported me. My friends were there, my family. And it became so easy because I knew I didn't have to, worry about that aspect. All I needed to do was to now concentrate on doing the job because everything else was looked after. So I think, all you young girls, all you young ladies need to look for a relationship which is a partnership, where there is a give and take, where there is love, where there is care. And it's not, oh, she's my wife, she has to do it. It's about we are together and we are going to make it work.
Yes, we are together and we are going to make it work. So, the question from your that time when you were captain. So, I want to ask that how was your bonding as a captain with your teammates, and what are the kind of like struggles when you're captain, and yeah, what are the other things being a captain?
I think, it's great being the captain, but suddenly you have a huge burden on your shoulders because you carry a nation's aspirations on your shoulders. The whole country will look at you. And the first question they'll ask, who was the captain of that team? So, it's a sense of responsibility. It's a great honor. Honestly, it is an amazing honor. I mean, how many of us can captain your country. It's a blessing, it's an honor, but it's a huge responsibility. And I think for us in India, the big thing is that we have players from all over the country. So it's a language thing, it's a food thing, it's a cultural thing. There are a lot of other factors, like, when I see other countries, everybody speaks English, or everybody speaks Dutch, or everybody speaks German. It's easy. Here we've got a country with 20, 25, 26 languages. We've got a country with different eating styles, with different food preferences, with different clothing preferences, with mindsets, with what kind of families you come from. Are you coming from a conservative family, or are you coming from a very modern family? So how are we to gel all of this together and bring it on one platform so that we can work as a team? I think for us, being a captain, and the big thing is to take the team with you. You can't sit at the top and order around. You've got to take the team with you, because we're all one. So unless your whole team buys into who you are as the captain and accepts you as the captain and want to be part of the team that you are leading, we cannot win. And I think for me, that was the focus, that how can I make the team one? And how can we break all these barriers? Because really, they're not barriers. They're the richness of culture that we are as a country, of who we are as Indians. We need to be proud of it, and we need to make the most of it. So you know what? I learned to speak Punjabi because I had lots of teammates who were Punjabi. And so they would say things on the turf. And I said, goodness, if I don't know what they're saying, I don't even know where they're going to chuck the ball to me and where am I going to run? So how about us learning Punjabi? So we learned Punjabi and they learned English. And you know what? It was a win-win. And, we learned their prayers. They learned our prayers. We went to the Gurdwara. They went to the church. So it was fabulous. It was so nice. We were all one. There was no, bhedbhav, or there was no differences. And, we'd all wear Punjabi suit, or we'd all wear pants and shirts, or we'd wear whatever. There was, no difference. And I think what happened off the turf, what happened outside of it was so positive. It came onto the turf. So we were like one big family waiting to play as one unit. There was no differences that aap Kerala se ho, hum Punjab se hai, kaise baat karenge. There was nothing of that sort. It was we are one and we're going to make this work.
It was it's amazing to hear the internal things. Usually ये सारी चीजें सामने नहीं आती हैं, and they remain just behind the stage. So it's good to see or have a glimpse something into very important thing when you're in a team. It's really important, and really happy to have a glimpse in it. So we just wanted to ask you, have you ever felt prey for favoritism?
Have I ever felt, sorry, your voice broke in that one.
Okay. Have you ever felt prey for favoritism?
See, favoritism is going to be there. We're human, and sometimes you like one player better than the other. Sometimes you're in a team where the coach likes one player better than the other. But I think is, how are we going to overcome that? And I think in a role as a coach, if you are aware of it, then you will make sure that you try and avoid it to the best of your ability. You're aware that you could be partial, you could have favorites. Koi bacha bahut hi acha khelta hai. So you think, ye sabse acha hai, and I like him. But that's not fair on the other teammates. So while you're aware that favoritism exists, because that again is who we are as humans, you like something better than you like someone better than someone else, or you might like, some one player's game a little better, or whatever, for whatever reason. I think as a coach, it is really important to understand that. And if you understand that, you'll try your best not to let it happen. But having said that, that is a reality of sport. Again, that is jo parde ke piche rehta hai, which, people don't see, people don't know. But unless you're actually there, then you experience it.
Very true, very true. There are many things behind the bars that we really don't know about. So, yes, and anything, any moment of yours that make you smile anytime, that can make you smile.
I think really, I just feel very grateful and very blessed that I've, had the opportunity to do so many things in my life. And that brings a smile on my face that even when things are going tough for me, I still have enough reason to smile. That, I'm grateful. Each morning I wake up and I'm just grateful for all that I have, for the beautiful family I have, for the wonderful friends I have, for all the opportunities that I've had. And, there have been difficult times in my life, but I'm not going to let that bring me down. So I promise I smile every day in the morning and I just say thank you for all that I have. I'm very, very grateful.
That's seriously, Guruji हमें यही सिखाते हैं कि every morning get up and thanks, just give thanks to everything, every aspect, every little creature, everything. And seriously, it अब समझ आता है कि this is a guru mantra for all the things in your life, right? So yes, and the last question is your experience with Youth Charammangal, Virat Youth Charammangal.
Oh, I cannot believe how good you guys are. Y'all are so professional. Y'all have been wonderful in the way that we've had this interaction. I mean, I just feel as to say I'm sitting in a studio in Pune, you know, meeting with all of y'all, all the wonderful people. And I just feel blessed that I've had this opportunity to meet such lovely people. And I just hope that we can keep this dialogue going. It's not a one off. I'd love to be part of who you are. And if there is any way that I can contribute, to be part of who you are, then, just let me know. Because I think what y'all are doing is amazing. Y'all are giving youth a platform in which they can blossom and grow. And what better gift can someone give you? The opportunity to grow. So if I can be part of it in any form, whether, to advise you, whether to support you, I'm only a phone call away. So please do keep in touch.
Sure, ma'am. Sure. We would be more than pleased to have you as our mentor, our coach, and coaches for our, for always, no end of it. And we
I
are
would
really,
love to be
really,
part of it.
yes, yes. And we are really, really blessed. And I really feel the blessings of Guruji showering on all of us to have you with us on this platform. And it's so amazing, ma'am, to have this conversation with you. It was so delightful, and motivating, inspiring, anything you can say. So thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, the lovely audience. Now I would like to pass the screen to Sadhika Dr. Pragbaji Virat. Thank you. Pragbaji, please unmute yourself.
Jai Ho. Thank you so much, Naaz. It was really, really lovely. And as you said, it felt just that we were all sitting in a room and talking to each other. You were so motivating. And it was just like your heart flowing out. And yes, the young people all around are really eager to hear you, and whatever you have shared with them, they will surely be applying in their lives. And yes, it's a great big moment to represent India, not only internationally, whenever and wherever you get to represent India, it's a great moment. I remember when I was asked to hoist a flag on 15th August, and in this sadhvi vesh, it was something. I just still have goosebumps to represent India, to hoist the flag. जिस भूमि पर आप रह रहे हो, इतना खिल रहे हो, उस भूमि पर आप उसका नेशनल फ्लैग आपको लहराने का अवसर मिलता है. It's
बिल्कुल
just great. And you had this opportunity several times. So I just can have a pinch of the feeling what you would have felt always. And the way you have lived your life, it's just great to have you there with us every time and everywhere. And thanks to this bunch of youngsters, yes, you have just seen some young ladies on screen, but yes, there are many young guys in this youth Charammangal. It's a group of lovely people with great frequencies, and all blessings of Puja Virat Guruji and Vaibhav Shriji Maharasa. They have just, I would rather say, injected a sort of feeling to be. Uh, it's just to be enthusiastic to live each and every moment, a moment full of life and hope. I just pray for them that इसी तरह से वो खिलते रहें, बढ़ते रहें. And now we have Pranav for the prayers.
जय हो
जय हो.
पृथ्वी को धन्यवाद, पानी को धन्यवाद, अग्नि को धन्यवाद, वायु को धन्यवाद, हरितक को धन्यवाद, त्रस प्राणी धन्यवाद, रस को धन्यवाद, रस धन्यवाद, 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 सबका सहयोग मिला, आनंद का भोग मिला, दिल में उजास खिला, सुंदर साज मिला, दानी उत्साह के गुरुवर को धन्यवाद, 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 प्यारे माता पिता, प्यारी संतान हो, बढ़िया हमदम रहे, सभ्यों में शान हो, प्यारा पड़ोस हो, परिजन को धन्यवाद, 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 सब में सद्भाव हो, प्रेमी स्वभाव हो, दिल में भाई सखा के बढ़ बढ़ के प्यार हो, सबके कल्याण के भावों को धन्यवाद, 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 जय हो.